Thanks, Megan.
As we track these new terror concerns at home and overseas, we are reminded of warnings we heard back in 2007. America was fighting the Iraq War. President Bush had just ordered U.S. troops to surge in Iraq, and critics were demanding that the U.S. withdraw the troops. When President Bush issued this frighteningly accurate, as it turns out, assessment of what would happen if we did that.
I know some in Washington would like us to start leaving Iraq now. To begin withdrawing before our commanders tell us we are ready would be dangerous for Iraq, for the region, and for the United States. It would mean surrendering the future of Iraq to al-Qaeda. It'd mean that we'd be risking mass killings on a horrific scale. It would mean we allow the terrorists to establish a safe haven in Iraq to replace the one they lost in Afghanistan. It would mean increasing the probability that American troops would have to return at some later date to confront an enemy that is even more dangerous.
Wow. Mark Thiessen is a fellow at the American Enterprise Institute, and he was President Bush's chief speechwriter at the time. He wrote that statement you just heard. How eerie. I mean, it's point by point by point what we are seeing today, Mark.
Every single thing that President Bush said there in that statement is happening today. Obama did withdraw our troops before the commanders on the ground said that we were ready to do so. General Austin wanted to keep 24,000 troops in Iraq. Obama went to zero. President Bush said that if we did that, there would be mass killings on a horrific scale. What are we seeing? Mass killings on a horrific scale. Executions, women and children being buried alive, crucifixions, beheadings of American journalists. President Bush said that if we withdrew before we were ready, then there would be al-Qaeda would establish al-Qaeda in Iraq, which is now ISIS, would establish a safe haven. They now control a swath of territory the size of Belgium. All of these predictions have come true, and of course, we're back there right now launching strikes.
That was the one that American troops, that would increase the probability that American troops would have to return at some later date to confront an enemy that is even more dangerous. That it was never, you know, the defenders of the administration said, look, it's not that they enjoy war or that they want to keep shedding American blood on the soil of Iraq. It's that we don't want to have to come back here. We've done a lot, and we want to hold on to the gains we've had.
That's exactly right. And let's keep in mind that President Bush, this was during the course of the 2007 surge, when everyone was saying the surge can't work, we have to withdraw now, and Bush was laying out the
Harry Reid said it didn't work and that the Iraq war was lost.
Absolutely. And Hillary Clinton opposed it because she didn't want to lose the presidential primary in Iowa. So everyone was out there for political purposes saying, let's withdraw now and accept defeat. And President Bush laid out the consequences of defeat. And he stuck with it. The surge worked against every prediction of the experts. And al-Qaeda in Iraq, ISIS, was defeated. They were defeated militarily. They were driven from their safe havens. And they were defeated ideologically because the Sunni masses joined America to drive them out when they were trying to rally the Sunni masses to drive us out.
Let me stop you there, because President Obama just yesterday, in addressing this mess that we're looking at over there, seemed to put the blame on the Bush administration. Here he is.
Because of what's happened in the vacuum of Syria, as well as the battle-hardened elements of ISIS that grew out of al-Qaeda in Iraq during the course of the Iraq War, it's going to take time for us to be able to roll them back.
Your thoughts on that?
He needs to have a little discussion with Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton's the one who said that the vacuum in Syria was caused by him doing nothing, which allowed the jihadists to fill it. And look, al-Qaeda in Iraq, ISIS, was defeated when he took office. We had our boot on their necks. They had been defeated, and what he did is he withdrew all of our forces, which allowed them to regroup and reconstitute themselves. They moved into Syria. Remember, President Bush said that the chaos would spread to other parts of the world, and that's exactly what happened. They used that as a recruiting area from which to get jihadists from all over the world, and they entered into Iraq again. And he was being briefed for a year on this threat. He saw it coming and did nothing. So he's got nobody to blame but himself for the chaos that we're seeing in Iraq today.
It's unbelievable to listen to that soundbite from George W. Bush. Mark, good to see you tonight.